Hello everyone, and welcome back. Right now we're in the middle of a two-part snowstorm. Started snowing this morning at 4:30, and it has snowed all day long. But regardless of the weather, it's time to get these rocks out of step 1 and get them into step 2. We're actually at about 7.5 days that these have been in. Remember, I say it every time, between the batches, never put the slurry down your drain because it'll dry like cement and you will be in trouble. I'm going to run outside and dump this out and just give it a quick rinse, and then we'll come in and we're going to wash these up really good. We'll take a look at them. They all have nice rounded edges, so they feel good, and then we'll get them into step 2. I realize that this isn't the best lighting, but it is what it is. And when you do this, make sure you wash the rocks really good because you don't want any of the grit from the first step to go into the second step and contaminate it, which is much more worrisome later on in the process. But still, if you just get in a good practice of washing them really good, you'll never have a problem, because you can feel if there's any creases or anything. Make sure you get in there. Some of the ones that are real smooth and round like this one, I mean, there's nowhere for it to get in there, but I just go over it quick and make sure I get it all off. And you also don't want to let your rocks dry out before you get these washed and everything, because otherwise it can dry in just like it would in your drain, like cement on there, and then it's going to be sitting there and scratching and scratching and scratching in the following batches. Same thing with your barrel. Make sure that this thing is completely clean. Like I already washed this one, but I was in there with my toothbrush, and because the jagged edges and stuff broke off the other rocks, there was all kind of little pieces in there. So you want to make sure this is really clean. Everything needs to be clean from one batch to the next. And then I have water in here too to keep these damp. Look at this one here. It's like totally see-through. This is that one here that was a landscape. I just call it a landscape rock with the band and the quartz in it. I thought it would all break apart. It has dropped probably almost, I bet you it's almost dropped in half for size-wise, but that one looks good. I'm surprised with these. These are ones that I bought. How much smaller they got. They looked like a pretty hard rock, but they did have a lot of jagged edges, and they're just going to clip right off, so I'm sure that's what happened. This is one of the ones that was a true agate. I'm sure you can barely see that, but a lot of quartz in it. You got the bands. I'm looking for that one that was in here. There was one that was just a brownish rock or whatever with one band in it that I was kind of, I'll have to see, maybe it got real small. I just don't see it in there yet. This one has a little pit up here. I'll make sure we get that nice and clean. That's a pretty neat looking one. It's got all kind of different colors, and then it's got a totally clear part right there. That one's kind of unique also. This one's pretty cool. It's the one that had all the lines in it. Still have not found that one though. Well, I have them all washed up back in the barrel. I did not find that one rock, and more than likely what happened is with those, I've had them before and they have the one band that goes all the way along, and that rock was fairly good size, but that band is more than likely a softer material and that rock just split. And when it did that, all of that softer band disappeared, and now we have two different rocks that I would have no clue what they look like. I've had rocks like that before that I polished and the whole rock will be shiny, and then where that band is, the band really isn't as shiny and it's a little bit indented, which tells you that through the whole process that softer part wore out, and that's why it's indented a little bit. And that can actually be a problem later on in a grind if you're doing it and that stuff gets out and contaminates your batch, so because that'll still be rougher than what the actual grit is that you're putting in there. Before, our barrel was about 2/3 full, and now we have dropped it down so it's a little bit over halfway. So I am going to go ahead and add some ceramic media into this. Not that I think it's that important for the second grind, it definitely is for the third and fourth, but for this I'm going to use the large media. I should rinse that out first, which I don't like in the later grinds. I just think these are too big, but they'd be perfect for this. In the later ones, I like the small ceramic media, and I don't think it makes a difference. I've used this, I've used this, I've used the plastic pellets. You used to see a lot, I don't see those much anymore. But I do like these in the later stages. I'm going to give these a rinse, even though I've used these before and they were washed really well. I still want to rinse them before I dump them in. I think that looks pretty good. For step 2, we're switching to a 150-220 silicon carbide. It's actually a Mesh Silicon Carbide. And once again, I'm going to do 11 tablespoons in here, which theoretically I could drop it down because it's a smaller batch now. Not as much volume, but I just do it this way and it works good. So now once again we want to add water, and I actually am going to get just over the top of these. On that first batch I'll say so it just covers. This one I usually go just a little bit over, just enough so they're all covered. Once again, it's very important to make sure you have nothing in here. And make sure that your lid is very clean also. That means all the edges here, see this one still has some dirt on it. Get this cleaned up really good. That looks real good. I saw nothing on this, nothing leaked, so this is good. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. We'll come back to this in another 7 days or so. That's a good number. And get it into step 3. And don't forget to write down when you did this so you don't forget. I will see you guys on the next video.